All right, everybody. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm starting to get the hang of the. Hey, Talit, good to see you, buddy. Starting to get the hang of the new software here, if you will. Hot Thoughts, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in on this. I'd say I call it a beautiful Tuesday, but it's just an awful Tuesday. It's terrible. I'm in Los Angeles, so it's raining up a storm and it's wet and miserable, and I don't want to go out because it's not sunny. But for me, good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anyone listening? Anybody home? Can you hear me? I was getting nervous. You post something like that, but for me, I'm like, oh, great. I'm talking and nobody can hear me at all. So that's always a little disappointing. I am on. Good morning, Doxy. Good to see you, Roseanne. Good to see you as well. Or getting the party started on a Tuesday. I'm pretty caffeinated. I got a haircut. Look at me. I dressed up for the show today. The tie's still crooked, but Les Grossman, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit. Good to see you back. I still think that's from Tropic Thunder, right? Les Grossman. I feel like that's what it's from. All right, let's cut to the chase here. Let's hit the news. Let's see what's going on in the wild world of shenanigans that is Democrats in charge, in power, in cahoots with our various systems of justice to bring down you and me. Alice Cooper. Oh, is it Alice Cooper? I don't know. I don't know. You could be right, R. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Good morning, Heidi. Good to see you. Whole crew's popping in today. I love it. Absolutely love it. So the decision is in federal court. This is Fox News, of course. Federal court rules whether Trump has immunity in 2020 election case. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see what happens here. I feel like he does, but let's see what they say. What I say doesn't really matter. He's like, Trump is not gonna be like, well, Jeff said it's okay. Yeah, I can't do a Trump. Everyone can do a Trump. I can't do a Trump. I can do a Newsom because he just has one vocal cord. Trump is not immune. What? Come on. Not immune from prosecution in 2020 election case. Federal appeals court rules. All right. That's unfortunate. Trump claimed presidential immunity prevented prosecutions for his actions in office. I thought it was a long shot he was going to get immunity, but then I was kind of like, oh, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he pulls it out of the hat. Pulls a trick out of the hat there, but no, apparently not. So former President Trump is not immune from prosecution in the 2020 federal election case. A federal appeals court ruled Tuesday. Boo. Why? Wait. Well, what happened? What are? I'm on a new. You're not getting the podcast. Let me see. So Roseanne says, "Why do we not get the first few seconds of your podcast?" Like, is it? Yeah, you know what's happened? I've switched. Talit, you're right. I've switched from my awkward sign off is now Doxy is right and Hot Thoughts an awkward sign on. That is exactly right. Yeah, that's true too. 19.5. Thank you for splashing that sunshine on us. That means it's. He's expandable too to the left. Everybody is, but that means Biden is also not immune, right? For all his corruption that he's kind of, jogging out and trying to get as far along as he can in the presidency before that comes to town, before that comes to roost. I think he'll die long before he ever did any time. But that he would be very easily indictable based on what the shenanigans that the left is pulling to keep Trump off the ballot. Now, obviously, I don't have to worry about keeping Biden off the ballot. The guy, he's not long. He's not long for this mortal coil. he's mentally already left. I mean, mentally, he fell off the coil, if you will, quite some time ago. But the body still moves somewhat. It falls down a lot. Has a hard time making it to the stage. Basic motor functions is what you have going on in Biden's brain. Basic, like really basic. Like not even you've seen him. Not even good with that. Yes, exactly, Roseanne. Biden is immune because he's a Democrat. We live in a two-tier system of justice where criminals are rewarded, aka Biden, and the hardworking citizens of this country are not. And that's the sad truth. And you look no further than the student loans. Like if you were foolhardy enough to either one, go to a school that you could actually afford, instead of some prestigious Ivy League where you took out a bunch of student loans to get indoctrinated liberally. If you were foolish enough to do that, or foolish enough to pay off your debt, you made a mistake, because here comes Biden. Woohoo! I'm buying votes, everybody. Who wants some money? Yeah. I don't mean to do this with Biden because it brings back those horrific pictures of those Texas Rangers, hitting their horses with it, which then was used to supposedly be whipping migrants. Remember that? And then they took their horses away. Am I still up? All right. So yeah, I get distracted very easily. So I'm on the new beta. I'm on the Rumble beta now. So my awkward sign my sign offs are clean and crisp now. When I say goodbye, boom, it is like butter. But now apparently my sign ons have become very and not so much. All right, you got to reload it. Yeah, again. So if you're having trouble seeing it or something's going on, reload it. It'll hopefully come up. It's the new software. It's the new beta, which I actually like a lot. Except I can't reply to comments. Can I now? Wait a minute. Is there any way? No, I can't reply to comments. And add ADD as a gift. It is, Tali. Honestly, it is. You're not wrong at all. All right, so let's so Trump's kind of hosed on this one. He's been getting hosed the whole time, but he's the Phoenix, man. He's got the hair for it. He's got kind of that Phoenixy fiery hair, along with Joy Reid, who copied his haircut. And so this is just part of the day for Trump, more of the same, but he will be fine as the Democrats keep trying to pull him off his pedestal, a pedestal that, by the way, they put him up on. You remember it was kind of somewhat close between him and DeSantis for a bit at the very, very beginning. And then came the bogus indictments. And then the popularity kept surging and the donations kept surging. The first time donations kept surging. And the left is literally electing Trump by trying to not get him elected, which is just Schadenfreude of such a beautiful nature. And to see them, I hope we get a 2016 again where they're all just crying on in the audiences and on the newscasts. I mean, it's just beautiful. Rush used to call FFJB plugs. Yeah, that's true. All right, so Trump's kind of screwed on this one. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to. But again, this was kind of to be expected. We knew that they were going to come after him. We knew that it was very unlikely he was going to have this immunity that he wanted. So he's gonna get through it like he does everything else. And you got these things falling off by the wayside. I want to say hourly, but the one in Georgia with Big Fanny, that one's gonna die a horrible death. The woman is completely corrupt. The whole indictment against Trump there was completely corrupt. She's got nothing to stand on with it. She's now basically signed her own. I want to say her political death warrant. Because people started looking into her, they're like, oh, but wow, you're really corrupt and you're blatantly so. You got I don't know if she got Facebook pictures with the dude, but she's shacking up with this guy she's paying money to help prosecute Trump, and he's still married. But the beauty of it, and this is the part I'm waiting for, and this is the part I can't wait for, when she finally does get the heave-ho, which should have been a long time ago already, someone who comes in her stead, in her place to replace her as the DA, probably some other dopey progressive liberal, is going to look at this hollowed-out case that she had against Trump, where it's like, hey, look, I'm coming at you for Trump, and then she's going to turn it around, see there's just absolutely nothing inside, and be like, oh, okay, well, we can't. Yeah, we're dropping that case. So I feel like that one's definitely going away. That one is absolutely going away. Good times. But so Trump will survive this. This was inevitable, unfortunately. I was hoping. I'm always an optimist. I was hoping he might get some immunity, but no, it's not going to happen. Biden responds after Trump calls for an immediate presidential debate. Yeah, I mean, it needs to be immediate. We don't even know how long Biden's got. He's a walking dead guy. Stops at the ice cream shop after he stops at the necromancer. He's not a lively fellow, cognitively or otherwise. So Biden responds. First of all, look at Biden. Was it tough guy Biden who responded? Was it corn pop Biden who responded to this call to arms? President Biden mocked, as he should. Wait a minute. I got it backwards. He should have mocked himself. So Biden mocked Trump? Come on. See, when I heard mocked, I'm like, how's Biden mocking anyone? Come on, Joe. Stop. Just stop it. Just stop. But apparently Biden mocked Trump for having nothing else to do. Joe, it's kind of an important thing. It's kind of, you think he's got nothing else to do? You got him lined up against the wall with bogus indictment after bogus indictment after bogus indictment. You really think he's got nothing else on his little playlist? Nothing else for him to be occupied with his time, with all your BS indictments on him, with all your nonsense to usurp the will of the people, to eliminate any chance of any sort of fair election? You even did that within your own party. You wouldn't even allow you wouldn't even debate your fellow hopefuls for the Democrat ticket. You wouldn't even do it because they know, and the party knows that you can't handle a debate. And here you are again, proving again you can't handle a debate. So you're mocking him as having nothing else to do. So I'm taking that's a no. I'm gonna assume that's a no, Joe. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm just gonna assume. So President Biden mocked President Trump for having nothing else to do. He's got a lot to do, Joe. And it's really all thanks to you and your dopey party. He's got a lot of court appointments to make it to, thanks to you. So President Biden responded to former President Trump for an immediate debate. It ain't going to happen. Biden is clueless that, first of all, to get him, they got to get him ready for a debate. He can't immediately go to a debate. He's got to go to Delaware for a week. They got to take out the bad blood, put in the good blood, dope him up with whatever go-go juice they give him to make him mildly coherent. And then he's down for a week after that again, I'm not 100% sure on anybody just said, but I feel like I'm 90%. All right, so President Biden here, what did he do? Responded for his immediate debate. Trump had issued the challenge Monday in a radio appearance with the conservative. Oh, Dan Bongino. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I'd like to debate him. Well, good luck with that. Because we should debate, as you should, and we should debate for the good of the country. I agree with everything you just said. And then Biden is ducking it, of course. Why Trump's holding a command. Oh, here we go. With Trump holding a commanding lead in the GOP primary, yes, he is. The outlook for the general election debates is uncertain. The National Committee, okay. Yeah, they're totally corrupt. Okay. So basically, Trump wants to debate Biden, and Biden, with good reason, does not want to debate Trump. He didn't want anything to do with that. I would enjoy that. Because I mean, Biden barely survived the last debates, with Trump. He never looked good in any of them, but cheating. And now he's completely cognitively gone. I mean, he was pretty cognitively gone before. Now he's just just nothing left. There's just nothing left in the tank, in the head. It's all straw. And he couldn't debate within his own party primaries. So that's why they basically didn't have him. And you think he's going to handle Trump? I don't. FJB is right, Hot Pot. Oh, Hot Pot sneaking in there with the 20. Thank you, sir. God bless you. I didn't even see that. Usually it lights up different, but again, this is the new app, which I like, but I'm still not used to. So I apologize for that. Talit says, you see that porn star going to Iran to teach their women about modesty? That is so absurd, Talit, and so ridiculous, so incredibly stupid. I believe every bit of it. And yeah, I guarantee she is a Biden supporter. I guarantee she is. 100%. No one understands Bidenese except for Dementia Joe Hotpots. 100%. Good times. All right, so let's check out what else is going on in here. Gavin Newsom actually did something good, and I give credit where credit's due. I don't like Newsom. I think he's a terrible governor. He should have been impeached, or he should have been successfully impeached. And but when he does something good, okay, I'll give you credit. Again, it's very rare, so enjoy this, Gavin. This is a one-time only thing. But apparently, Gavin Newsom overruled a California parole board that wanted to free a gang member who murdered a minister early. All right, hey, bravo! See, look at that. Look at me crossing the aisle. Look at me doing that. Now get off of the reparations wagon already. just insanity. Just to point it out again, Gavin, we were never a slave state. This is California. I give you a nice one, and then I come down on your heart, as you deserve, Newsom. It's not my fault. It is. He's also mandating that we have all electrified vehicles by 2034. We can barely handle the limited number, and we have more than any state, really, but it's still pretty limited on our crappy power grid now. It's stop. Just stop it. Stop it, Gavin. But good call on the overruling the parole thing. That was actually pretty cool. I'll give you credit. Again, where credit is due. Hundreds of migrant families being booted. This is the Fox News. Being booted from the shelters as the city nears its breaking point. Now, all right. Oh, it's Mile High madness. So that obviously has got to be Denver. But if you just said madness and overflowing cities with migrants, obviously you're dealing with a Democrat city. You can hit the usual suspects. I would have gone first New York. California is so overrun. They don't even, it's not even a thing anymore. They're just like, done. Who's still got a fighting chance? And Newsom made it even worse. Newsom made it even worse by saying, Mayor, maybe that's why Mayor Adams did his thing. But Newsom said, okay, not only everyone who's an illegal coming over here, you can have free healthcare. I don't know how you pay for that. I just don't know how that gets paid for. It doesn't, basically. And just a little cherry on top, or maybe a tassel on top. You can get a sex change surgery on the house too. So if you're in the mood, you want to get physical, and then you wanted to add some boobs, or I don't know, whatever, however you do it. I don't know how you do it. That's it. So then Adams is like, oh, that's pretty good. Okay, $1,000 for everybody who comes over. I got a gift card. Come on down to New York. I'll give you $1,000. Meanwhile, Adams can't stop bemoaning that he's being overrun with immigrants, and yet he offers them more incentive to come. So this is the path of your illegals these days. They get into Texas or wherever they're getting, although they're trying to at least stop them in Texas now. Although Biden's trying to stop them from doing that. Although he's also supposedly for border control. It's very confusing. And so then they'll take a flight, taxpayer funded, with the taxpayer phone. They'll go to New York. They'll take their $1,000. Maybe if they're there long enough, they'll assault some police officers. DA Alvin Bragg will immediately release them on no cash bail, and they'll be on their way to California. Once they get to California, they can have that sex change they always wanted and $1,000 to, not that they have to pay for their room and board, but oh, madness. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like, if you encourage something, you get more of it. And all the left does is pour fertilizer on really bad things: murder, crime, generational poverty, complete zero education. It's everything that they claim that they want to end. Like, let's say racism, they make worse, and not just a little bit, like exponentially worse. I'll talk about it in a second, but if I remember. With my ADD. But let me stick to this and then I'll get to the rest. So 800 migrant families are being booted from Denver shelter as city nears breaking point. Okay, well, you're a sanctuary city. Let's step it up. I think all the Democrat voters in Denver who said, hey, we're a sanctuary city. We want to be a sanctuary city. It's a big woke pat on the back for us. Look at us. We're one of the sanctuary cities. You need to start taking them in your homes. That's just it. You're a resident. You're a Democrat voter. You brought this upon yourself. You brought this upon your city services. It's time to step up and walk the walk. So start taking migrants into your home, or shut up. Sorry. Just so sick of it. It's just this smug liberal elitism. This, look at me. Look how woke I am. Look how much better I am than you. And this is how it ends. Your city becomes overrun. Everybody's miserable. You think the migrants are happy? They don't even have a place to live. They were promised all these things. They went to the wrong city. They should have gone to New York. Sorry. It's cold. Well, it's cold in New York too. Well, everyone winds up in LA eventually. That's or San Francisco. That's where everybody goes. Oh my God. So Roseanne says, did you see the proposals in this new House bill? Anyone coming in from the border country after 5,000 people will be sent back? No, I did not. This whole border bill is a farce from what I've read, from what I've seen of it, the little I've seen of it. It sounds like a disaster, to be honest. He's being investigated. Oh yeah, Adams. Yeah. You're right, Hot Thoughts. He's being investigated, so he had to change course and offer money to the migrants. That's a solid theory right there. And I mentioned that before too. Like when we were talking about Adams, all he does is whine and complain. I still like him better than De Blasio. I hate it. There's no one still in my mind a worse mayor than De Blasio, and he's not even in office anymore. So Adams basically came out and said, hey, someone do something about the border. I know we're a sanctuary city. I don't actually do anything. That's why Alvin Bragg is, still the DA, and there's still no cash bail. But I'm going to make my stand here. This is my hill. I'm going to die on. And so he goes, no more migrants, please, for the love of God. We can't handle anymore. We're already overrun. And Biden, you need to stop this. And so what does Biden do? He goes, but not Biden, but whoever runs Biden, our puppet straw man of a president. So, he's probably corrupt. Go look into some stuff. And sure enough, what do you know? There's some chicanery going on with one of his aides, and he might be involved. And so they come after him that way. And all of a sudden, you're right, Hot Pots. He's like, hey, everybody, $1,000 if you want to come. Just kidding, Joe. Oh, it's just so silly. Roseanne says, find interviews with Michael Yon if you want to know more about the illegals. Okay. I don't know. I trust you, Roseanne. So I will. Sure. Why not? Yeah, please click like also if you can. If you get a chance, click the like button. Check out my news videos as well. I do those. I think my news video today is doing pretty good. All right, let's get back into the heat of it, the thick of things, as we are on Fox News here. All right. Oh, here, this is it. This is actually what I was thinking of. I was talking about, just the insanity of the left. and just how everything that they claim to be against, they are the cause of. And so you got racism. Now let's dial back a little bit. The Democrats were the party of racism, still are. Chains are now virtual instead of physical. But in the Civil War, who was the party that wanted to keep slaves? It was the Democrats. It wasn't the Republicans. We fought to free them. Hence, if there is reparations money, the Democrats should pay registered Democrats today, and registered Republicans should get a thank you. Anyway, that's not going to happen. So in addition to all these ridiculous reparations committees, you now have these students and colleges that are getting angry. They're angry now that us righties, I don't know, is that, I don't really like that. Us conservatives or whatever, we're dialing back the DEI, the nonsense, the horse shit, if you'll excuse my French, and trying to get rid of segregation again at schools. You know, I know that Democrats love their segregation. They were the ones who were trying to institute it in the first place. Biden even wanted segregated busing. But these now college students are so indoctrinated, they're actually doing it to themselves. So they're all mad. This woman's angry because Texas college student defends controversial Black graduation ceremony. The stupidity of that, of having a Black graduation ceremony or an Asian graduation ceremony or whatever. How does that create unity? All that does it, that's just division. You're reinstituting segregation, a Black dorm, a Black graduation, an Asian, whatever. Pick your race and then insert the prestigious event here. You know, it's nuts. That is how you divide. Why are you even going to college? Why don't you everyone should just have their own colleges based on their skin color? Because as soon as you go into the school, you all funnel into your own little groups anyway. The whole point of going to a university is to experience other cultures, to experience other races and nationalities, to mix. Mix. We're going to mix. I'm touching a white and a Black. Not in liberal schools. No, we got a Black student union and a white student union. It's just crap. It's just not. Do I still get to drink out of the water fountain at the Black student union? I'm kidding, but do I? For real. And so they are creating segregation. They have created segregation in these universities. And here we are. This is Texas, where they're now mad that they don't get to continue it because Texas said this is stupid. Why would we purposefully divide ourselves? This is what Republicans and conservative ask all the time. Whereas Democrats are like, we could only exist through division. So any place you can find to pit a race against another race, let's do it. And ideally, even within the race. This is what they do. And yet the Democrat voters, the white liberal voters, just are like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm so woke. No, you're not. You are the problem. And I'll say this, I've said this before, and you may or may not agree with that. Racism has never been lower. It's never been lower than it is right now. It's on its last legs. It really is. And that is why the Democrats are screaming and yelling and clawing to bring it back, to just create it, to look at everywhere to try and find some, to make some up. Because if they ever lose that, that's their number one tool of division for this country. And they exist solely because of division. That's, if you look at their work, if you look at their merit, if you could say that about a Democrat, and that's something else they hate. For a good reason, because it doesn't allow them to divide based on race. You would then, if you go by merit, you would have to divide by value, by what someone is putting forth, by what someone is doing. And that has no relevance to their skin color. So why would they want merit? They need everything divided by race, or if that doesn't work, vaccine stats, or if that doesn't work, religion, whatever. And then Democrats line up and vote for them. And the thing that bothers me, it's not their stupidity for voting Democrat. I can get that. It's the smugness of it. It's the, I'm so much better than you. And the comments, You're the problem, you jackasses. Heidi says the bill is a lie. Yeah, I haven't read the whole thing yet, but it just seems like it's an absolute S show and doesn't do what it's supposed to. And it does exactly what the Democrats want, which is what this whole thing was. I'm getting the ADD. I'll be back to this. But, it goes back to the whole reason for the migrant surge, the migrant crush, the migrant invasion, whatever you want to call it. The whole reason is a voter drive. It's a massive, massive voter drive by the left, and a very successful one. So they're bringing in all of these illegals. Again, they don't care that there's no place to put them. They don't care the conditions. They don't care that the kids are being sex trafficked, raped, women, same thing. They don't care about the fentanyl coming in and all the people dying from it. All they ever care about is maintaining power. All they ever care about is getting votes. So they are going to allow in as many people as they can, hopefully before Joe gets kicked out of office. And then in this bill, I think they're already talking citizenship. Now, they didn't go, they're not going to say that immediately. But in the bill, they're like, okay, all the Afghanis who helped us, who Biden, ran out on. So the lucky ones that we didn't leave behind to die, they should be, made to be citizens, which I'm not against that. If these people and they're vetted and they did try to help us, and then Biden basically left them and left probably they've lost family members of that. I'm not against that, but that's like the starters. Like, okay, now we did this. Now we're going to everybody else. We need all these other voters because we don't think the Afghanis will vote for us because honestly, Biden left them to die, most of them, or at least some of their family members. I laugh, but that's true. Or, be killed by guns that we left or weapons that we, it's just, I don't think the Afghanis are a shoo-in vote for the left is what I'm saying. The ones who are over here. Oh my God. Hey, Bob, good to see you, buddy. Morning. Oh, more snow. Yeah, it's just raining here. What are you gonna do? But we'll hit the. I'm gonna hit the slopes finally. I think next week. I think it finally snowed enough in Big Bear, and Mammoth is getting crushed, which is awesome. Can't wait to go ski up there. So anyway, black Texas college student defends black graduation. Defends. Let's put it right. Segregation. Defends segregation given the history of the U.S. Really? Wait, well, I changed graduation to segregation, but it's the same thing, right? So again, black college student defends black Texas. Too many blacks in this equation. I'm getting confused. Black Texas college student defends black graduation given the history of the U.S. Why don't you just stick with the Democrat Party in the light of the DEI ban? The DEI ban is the greatest thing ever. Because guess what happens? DEI is racism. DEI is okay. First of all, DEI obviously encouraged and created all these segregationist gatherings and meetings and unions and dorms. They recreated segregation. We remember how hard we fought to get rid of that. And then here, hey, now we're bringing it back because it helps our party, the Democrats. So they create a Department of Equity and Inclusion cannot exist without perceived racism. So it is not to their benefit to ever end racism. It's only to their benefit to create more of it so they can hire more people, which is like what's happening at the University of Michigan, which spends millions of dollars on DEI. I think their head of DEI gets $400K. The average salary I think they have 240 some odd DEI employees. The average salary is near $100K for all of them. Well, if racism is gone, so are your jobs. So are your jobs, right? So there's no incentive. There's no incentive to attend. It's all BS. It's all patronage positions. All you have to do to be a DEI person is go in and go, it looks like too many white people. Or, a lot of Asians here. Sorry, Asians. You are in the acceptable racism boat with us white folk. It happened. Your meritocracy punches a big old hole in the leftist battleship of racism. They just shoots it everywhere. They're constantly with Gatling guns shooting racism at everybody or creating racism where it doesn't exist, perpetuating racism at every chance. And again, I said it at the beginning, there has never been, listen to this, never been less racism in this country than right now. You'd never know it listening to the mainstream media. You'd never know it listening to the Democrat politicians, but you know it in your heart. You know it in your heart. It's simply a creation of the left to facilitate their stranglehold on our society, unfortunately. But it's comical. They're mad. These students are mad that they can't have segregation. The level of dumb that you have to be for that to make sense to you, for you to actually and then to be upset about it. I'm not being guaranteed my generational poverty, and I'm angry about it. That's another thing that Democrats want to keep minorities in, generational poverty. Oh, the left is so great. They got rid of all the cops in the minority communities. They're doing so well now. So well. Black University. Everyone is pretty irritated. Really? Everyone? I don't think that's a gross exaggeration, ma'am or sir. Whatever your pronoun is. Sorry. It's a whole nother issue. Everyone's pretty irritated and annoyed because UT Austin is a pretty big liberal population. Oh, it's Austin too. Oh, your hearts all must be broken. Oh, you Austinites, jackasses. Good times. So everyone's pretty irritated or pretty annoyed because UT Austin is a pretty big liberal population. The university sent an email last month saying they will cease funding for cultural graduation ceremonies, as they should. You're all in the same damn university. Touch a white person's shoulder. It's not going to kill you. Shake a hand. High five. We'll miss. Whoops. Sorry. White. I can't. Oh, can I joke about my own? It's just absurd. Everything that the left does is designed and used to facilitate more strife and conflict between races. Again, but mask, vaccine, they don't care. Race is easy. It's like, oh, well, you can see the color of the person's skin. It's like, okay, that's an easy way to divide people. Let's stick with that. That's right in our wheelhouse. Jerks. McCormick, I guess this is the girl, added that minority students graduating from a college is a big accomplishment. Why? Why is it it's not a big accomplishment. I mean, I don't like the undertone of like, oh, we were so victimized. We're so oppressed. We're so this or that for us to graduate from if you view that as a big accomplishment, don't. It's not. It's an accomplishment. A big accomplishment would you be getting past and getting through this perceived racism, this perceived victimhood that you still possess. That would be a big accomplishment. Because if you're a victim, you're never going to enjoy your life. I don't care how many colleges you graduate, how many PhDs you get. If you view yourself as a victim, you're a miserable sod your whole life. You know, that's the big accomplishment. It shouldn't be viewed to graduate college. It's not. To believe in yourself, that's a big accomplishment. How about that? If you believe in yourself, graduating college is not that big a deal. Now, getting a good paying job, that's a big accomplishment. Well, it could be. You might just get a job at a DEI department. What do you have to do for that? Hey, you don't even need 4 years of school. You just go, too many white people. It's the best job in the world. If I were African American, if I were a minority, I would just be applying to every DEI position because they're always creating more of them, it appears, because the racism is so rampant. I would be all over that. Oh my God, Les, for real? Mammoth Mountain's gotten 46 inches. For me, getting a Mammoth is tough because it's like 5-hour drive. So I need 2 days to, kind of get, that hurt. That's a gut punch right there. That upsets me more than segregation. Although the left comfortable with segregation. They love it. They love their segregation. They want more of it. They're mad it's being taken away. So she added, so having a Black graduation is kind of a celebration of the history of everything that the Black community in Austin, especially Austin, has gone through. No, it's not. It's a step backwards. It's not it's when you take a step back and you re-embrace racism and you re-embrace your victimhood in a gown and robe. That's not an accomplishment. It's just a sad, pathetic a stamp on your diploma. Still a victim. Okay. You graduated whatever dopey school in Texas. It might be a good school. I don't know. But you graduated from college. Here's an idea, crazy idea. You go to a graduation with other races. All right. And then you're there at the graduation and you celebrate with other races. And crazy thing happens. You start seeing less race. Or your choice, everybody stays in their own race and everyone looks disparagingly at any other race or color. That's your chosen path. I like mine better. So yeah, F the DEI, F all that stuff, and good on Texas for getting rid of it. The end. It's not the end. It was like a movie, like when the end, and then there's a question mark. All right. So Grammy says, Talita, some of you Virginians don't want snow. Yeah, I don't blame you. I like skiing. I moved from Chicago because of the snow. And as an added bonus, got away from the violence. Oh, Prince Harry's back. Prince Harry's back in the UK with King Charles as the monarch is treated for cancer. So there you go. This is going to reunify Harry and Charles and the rest of them. And they're all, and don't make no mistake, Harry don't like Meghan either. I mean, you think he hasn't figured out by now what a colossal mistake he made? You think he doesn't know? You think he's not happy to be away from her? You think there's a reason they're spending less time together? They don't like each other. It did not work out the way Meghan wanted it to. She wanted to be this princess and this and that. Nobody liked her in the castle because she's not a pleasant human being. And then now Harry takes her over to the U.S. to try and make hay over there. And nobody likes her here either. And so how do I know that? Because YouTube, which censors all my videos, the only video they ever didn't censor, it got like 25,000 views, which for YouTube is an enormous amount for me. It was when I crapped on Meghan Markle and Harry. So that means they're like, oh yeah, we like this. This is good. All my other stuff, that's not narrative friendly. But they're done. They're already done. They're over. Meghan has wrung him for everything she can wring him for. She's a user, a manipulator. And so he has no more purpose for her. She's looking for the next dude right now. This is my opinion. She's looking for the next guy. He sees the writing on the wall. Here's his dad. This is a good chance to bond again with the family. They'll be together. Obviously, she won't be there. And in that bonding, they'll probably be like, hey, Harry at some point probably like, yeah, I fucked up. Just my opinion. It's for our next season of The Crown or whatever. I haven't watched any of it, but people like it. Roseanne says Charles was oh, yeah. Well, Bob makes a great point. MLK was Uncle Tom to most of those idiots. He was. MLK wanted content of character rather than color and skin, which is the diametrically opposed to what the leftists want. They want just color of skin. That's it. Yeah, keep the merits. Yeah, keep the content of your character away from me. Color of the skin. Yeah. This is. I mean, we joke about it, but 100%. If Martin Luther King came along today, forget it. He'd be a laughingstock. He'd be considered a white supremacist on Joy Reid's show. Yeah. It hurts. The stupid hurts. It does. It is what are you going to do? All right. So Harry, good luck to you. I hope you escape the vile clutches of there's like a witch, a certain kind of witch, not a warlock, but they're really nasty looking. Like they look pretty, but then they then like when the moon hits or something, they're like they have like claws. They just vile creature. I can't remember what they call those, but that's what Meghan Markle seems like to me. Oh brother. Look at this. All right. White House pressured tech giants. Big surprise. Speaking of censorship, YouTube, I'm looking your way. I'll look TikTok very heavy as well. White House pressured tech giants to censor certain books about COVID-19 vaccines. Of course they did. Anything that runs contrary to the narrative, anything that involves truth, that runs contrary to the narrative, which is basically anything that involves truth, is suppressed, is destroyed, is discredited. And if you can't discredit it, then you smear whoever is spouting it, who's saying it. Well, we can't destroy the message because the message is true. So let's find some dirt on whoever's talking about it. Besmirch their character. So even though the message is true, we can distract it. It's all the playbook. And they had complete control of all the mainstream, well, obviously the mainstream media, but all the social media, at least when Biden got elected. The Hunter Biden laptop suppression. Oh, it never came out of the lab. Are we still playing that game, or it didn't come out of the lab? Is that still somewhere the liberal media? I don't know. I don't know. You write that. You're in Facebook jail. Oh, you think it might be a good idea to test a vaccine before you just implement it on everybody, or maybe you just don't want to get it. You want my body, my choice. Unless of course it's a vaccine, and then your body, no choice. You want to keep your job, you better get it. I tried to volunteer. Hey, I'm a good guy. I tried to volunteer and in Burbank, I think. And they're like, okay, we were interested. You could volunteer. I want to just talk to old people. And I was like, yeah, I like old people. I'm getting old. I'll keep them company. I'll be a buddy. I'll be an old person buddy. That sounds like a fun thing to do. And they're like, okay. So then they're like, okay, we want to do this with you. And they're like, okay, but you need to have all your boosters up to date. I'm like, meh. Bye-bye. No. No. They're still doing it. I used to go to the Los Angeles Philharmonic. I like classical music, and I used to go there all the time. I at one point I was a season ticket holder. I think I was when this happened, and then the COVID hit, and then they're like, hey, you got to get the LA's crazy already. They're like, okay, you got to have this vaccine to go anywhere, to go into any place, to go into any restaurant, to keep your job. And then the LA Phil on their own, the Los Angeles Philharmonic on their own, is like, oh, and you also, for us, you need the booster as well, or you can't come to the show. I said, okay, you give me my tickets back. And I've been back since, jackasses. Stop taking my freedoms away. I'm not one of your simp dems. I'm not one of your, okay, yeah, great, you can have more of my freedoms. No. If you come at me like that, you can leave. Go out, Los Angeles Philharmonic, and let's face it, mediocre schedule this year anyway. I do love Dudamel. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. I'm going to go to the Post. I haven't been to the Post yet. The New York Post says, Arrested Development. What? Corruption in New York? Oh, what are the chances? About 100%. Arrested Development. Apparently, over 60 current and ex New York City Housing Authority workers cuffed in historic bribery and extortion bust. Wow, it must have just been like Wild West out there. I mean, it must have been so bad. Like, all right, let's do something about this. Or like one of the other thing that has to happen for these is the guy who's really in power and who created it and is like kind of the head of the graft chain, if you will, but has a lot of political power. He usually has to pass or die or something. And they're like, okay, now we can get everybody else. We're not worried about him anymore. R says they say the new virus kills. They made a vaccine for that one. Oh, well, they're like still monkeying around, Frankenstein and viruses. They're still doing it. And like they had one in China again, and it's easy to crap on China, but we were working in conjunction with them with this stupid coronavirus. We had a lab, I think, in Montana, I believe, where we were working on it there. But unlike China, loosey goosey China, we know how to shut a door. We know how to close a window. We're not going to let the damn thing out. Chinese, sloppy. You need a good American window pane, not one of them flimsy Chinese jobs that lets the viruses out. Jackasses. All right, Trump. Back to Trump here. This is another story. The New York Post saying the same thing. Trump's not immune to prosecution. 2020 for his 2020 election interference case. Big deal. He's going to skate. The New York new pro-Trump ad evokes migrant beating of NYPD cops. Biden's middle finger. Yeah, it is exactly. I mean, this. If you ever need to see what comes of liberal DAs, of liberalism, just look at a liberal city. I mean, it doesn't have to be New York. You pick anyone you want. Look at Oakland. There's a one that's like a under the radar one because nobody liked it to begin with, and then it got worse. But it was so bad. You're like, was it really worse, or was it always that bad? No, it actually got worse. You can't. The In-N-Outs are closing there. The Denny's can't handle it anymore. They have the most dangerous. I just story on that. The most dangerous mile there where the cops are not allowed to chase criminals. As soon as the criminals do a smash and grab, which is all they do at these gas stations by the airport, you definitely want to get the prepaid fuel option. And it's never been, if you can't sell a prepaid fuel option at a rental car counter at the Oakland airport, you need to go. This is the time to make your money. I don't know. I assume you get a little bump on that. If you get enough. Because all they do is just steal stuff out of cars. People come to the airport, they're getting gas. They don't even wait for you to be away from the car. Bash, take your stuff, get in the car, and drive away. And the cops, they're sitting there, but they just, all right, see you later. They're not allowed to do anything. As soon as the criminal steps on the accelerator and goes 26 and a 25, they got to call off the chase. I just did a story on it. Yeah. I laugh, but it's sad. But yeah, any liberal pick San Francisco. I mean, it's like you can. Yeah, there's. It's. I feel like San Francisco wins. I just feel like it's the worst city there is. It's the biggest example of what happens when you let leftism and progressivism and socialism and communism run amok. But I mean, you got a lot of honorable mentions. You got your Baltimores, you got your Chicagos, you got your New York. Again, Democrats. You got your Seattles, you got your Portland. And it's funny because like even in Portland, like they're like, oh, well, maybe this idea of basically legalizing all drugs and decriminalizing all drugs didn't work, as they look around and see just a sea of junkies, just this wasn't such a great idea, but they don't change anything. They're like, okay, maybe we'll make a law. But they're not going to. We'll make a law where we make it illegal. You're not going to. You got too many lib simps and dimwits in charge and trying to be like, this is woke. We got to let people kill themselves. It's just a big glorified assisted suicide program that's now really just way out in the open. It's just everywhere. You're not trying to help these people. You're just waiting. You're giving them another free needle to roll the dice again and see if they can kill themselves tonight. Another person. Many people will die tonight because of liberal, progressive drug programs, which don't encourage them to get off drugs. They make it easy to stay on drugs, so they stay on drugs, and they make it easy to start doing drugs, so they start doing drugs. And then they're shocked when the OD rates have never been higher in these liberal cities. Yeah, I don't understand. Our progressive programs are supposed to be working. I'm not sure how, but we were giving everybody free needles. That's how you fix it. Free needles. Okay, how's that working out for you? Like New York, go back to New York again. Which liberal cesspool is worse? New York's got crack pipes in vending machines, but don't worry, you don't have to pay for it. It's a free vending machine. I assume immediately those things are busted and broken and people just rip everything out. But yeah, what do I know? Oh goodness. Bob says now's a good time to be a cop. Well, I mean, it's true from a workload standpoint. You don't have to do anything to get paid. You're 100% right. And as a matter of fact, doing anything makes you lose your job. Bob, truer words have never been spoken. This is why crime is so rampant in liberal cities. You have a completely unmotivated police force. Why would they? If they do their job, if they make an arrest, if they see a suspicious suspect, they got to, all right, well, if they see someone suspicious, they're not going to do nothing, because if they pull them over and maybe they don't have a gun, or maybe they're just sketchy looking. Oh, you're racist. Oh, you got my pronouns wrong. Oh, somebody filmed this. Oh, I'm going to beat your ass. And Alvin Bragg's going to let me right out of jail. What's the upside for them? Or they successfully arrest someone. It's a success. We arrested them. They bring them to the jail. They go, okay, you can let them go now. Huh? They just assaulted my friend. Alvin Bragg says so. Oh, okay. But none of this happens in a vacuum. This only happens if the dopey, dippy leftist voters allow it to happen. If the dopey, dippy leftist voters say, yeah, more of this, and then they watch their cities disintegrate in front of themselves. They watch the rampant crime. They're in the generational poverty loop. Their schools are a farce. They're a joke. All they do is they teach them CRT and who to blame for their horrible future existences. And really, it's the Democrat Party. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Spoiler alert. They'll tell you it's Republicans and cops. You ever hear of black on black crime? That's not an issue. Oh, it's the cops. They can't. The beauty. It's not. Well, it is kind of poetic. They can't blame. They're looking now because you got Biden running for reelection. Ugh, God helps. He's running for reelection, and they need another George Floyd. They need another one. They need another a person like that who they can then orchestrate BLM and Antifa and start riots and create fear and havoc in order to go over the finish line right there, or over the hurdle. It's going to be a lot of work because they don't have a global pandemic working at the same time, and we're on the. So it's going to be a lot of work for them. I don't think it's going to happen this time around. I do like that most. I had another train of thought and I lost it. You know what I need? More coffee. But yes, Bob, you're right. Now is the best time to be a cop. You don't have to do anything, and if you do, you lose your job. Yeah. But so I'll get back to I do it. Thank you, Bob. You brought me back to my point. So yeah, with no George Floyd yet, I don't think they're going to get their next George Floyd, and they're looking. The problem is sometimes when a suspect resists arrest, and then the fighting with the cop happens, and the suspect dies or something. Sometimes that cop isn't white, and that's inconvenient. That is inconvenient. So that's the first issue they got to deal with. You got to get the white guy, white cop, black perpetrator. You got to have it. Got to have it. But the problem now is the white cop. They're in the car now. They're not even dealing with the perpetrators. They're like, well, I'm not getting fired today. I'll just sit and watch this, and then when the guns are done blasting, I'll go pick up the mess and try and take a report. So there's no. You lost your hook, or at least your impetus for all the strife and unrest and the riots that you choreographed, you scumbags. King Charles appears in good spirits. I'm glad to hear that. With Queen Camilla? Come on, is she queen? I thought she was like king consort. Her title was like naughty. It was dirty. Is she? I don't know. I don't know. No. Hey, Green Grammy, good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, please smash the thumbs up, everybody. Much obliged. And join me, follow me for the love of God. But yeah, King Charles appears in good spirit. Queen Camilla? I thought she was king's consort. I thought she's dirty. She's a second marriage. She ain't no queen. Because I can't imagine there's going to be a Queen Camilla. That seems like a disaster for the royal family. I mean, you got a Prince William, right? He's going to be the king. I don't know. I think that it might be a misprint. I'm scolding the post for a misprint, and I can't even talk. I just misprinted verbally. Anyway. Yeah. White cops are hiding. Like maybe you know what? Here's the thing. Like I said, I feel like racism has never, ever been at a lower point. And that's why you hear so much screaming and yelling that it's everywhere. It isn't. Ask yourself, is it? No, it's not. It's thrown around and bandied about like it is. It's self-perpetuating. But you cops, they don't, you need, it's like military. there's no race there. Yeah, probably it's a little bit, but generally speaking, your guy here, your buddy here is your lifeline. He's your go. I mean, you guys are in the thick of it. You're war buddies basically these days as cops. You got a black cop and a white cop in a car, and you're like, oh, okay, what color is this suspect? All right, he's black. You better go out and handle him, Harry. So they'll call me racist. Well, they'll call me racist too. Yeah, I know, but it'll be not as bad. Okay, so he handles that. I'm like, oh, like a white suspect. Hey, you better go out and handle that one. I'll handle that one. Actually, I'll help them. And then they're like, oh crap, this guy looks like trans. He looks like he's a trans. He's gonna want us to use the right pronouns. Call Fancy Frank. I don't sorry, Fancy Frank is he's the trans guy at the department. So they send him in for handling the trans people with the pronouns. And then you got a cop for each situation. Still really not doing much, but at least, you're getting it done. Fancy Frank, by the way, has an amazing arrest record. I'm Fancy Frank. My pronouns are they. How can I help you? That's like kind of a Christopher Walken. I'm Fancy Frank. How can I help you? My pronouns are they. What are yours? Movie of the week. Oh my goodness gracious. Wait. Every time I go to something, I have to go through 2 to 5 seconds commercials before you can skip. Oh no, we'll stay on here. I don't know. I guess I don't know. Apologies. Yeah, I'm apologizing for that. All right, influencer. This is on the New York Post, so it's I feel like the Post could do better, but this is a story that the New York Post has. Influencer Tinx, Tinx, ripped over controversial birthday dinner etiquette opinion. All right, first of all, you should be ripped if you're following influencer Tinx. Forget what she's doing. Who cares? She looks like she's naked holding a cake. You're the one tuning in. You're the one watching it. You shouldn't rip influencer Tinx. You should rip anyone who has a follow by her her name. She just some whack job. Oh, look, I'll go out naked with a cake today to get some more followers. Maybe Fancy Frank will follow me. All right, Prince Harry arrives in London. Yes, good. And I say yes because I feel like he's escaping. He's escaping the compound, escaping the clutches of Meghan. It's I think of the Lord of the Rings. Remember that there was that king who had the guy. He was under the spell of like a wizard or something or someone evil, and then suddenly he broke free. And I feel like that might actually happen to Harry while he's in England and merry old. I don't know. I like the Lord of the Rings. By the way, I'm going to Guatemala. This is how ridiculous this is. I like the Lord of the Rings, and I'm going to Guatemala for no reason in particular. I'm going. There's I'm gonna go to something called Hobbit Land or something. It's like a Hobbit town in like south of Antigua or something. So there, I'm sharing that. And by the way, I knew it was a reason I'm sharing. If you go to jeffahern.com and subscribe, you'll see all the pictures there, and I got other stuff there too. And if you go to my Patreon, I got Patreon, or join the members page here. I'll put it up there as well. All right, there you go. There's all my plugs. All right, Power Trip, Philly, U.S. Philadelphia U.S. attorney with ties to Biden's. Oh, all right. Already we're dealing with corruption. Just another point. They haven't talked about it in a while, but they really haven't. The whole corruption trial against Biden. They have 20 plus shell companies. I think it was at 25. Like Hunter Biden was involved in, Joe, or his brother was involved in. That's a lot of shell companies for honest people to have. Like one shell company, I would say, would be a lot of shell companies for you to still be considered honest. Like if someone went up to you like, hey, I heard you're really honest, man. I'd be like, yeah, I'm really honest. I do have this one shell company, though. And then, what would the person who thought you were honest think when you told, I got one shell company, though? Like, why would you have that? That's a long story. I don't want to talk about it unless I'm being subpoenaed. But then the same guy, like, hey, man, you seem like a really honest. Yeah, but I got about 25 shell companies. They're just not going to say anything. They're going to walk. They're going to leave. That's our president. Oh, my God. Good times. All right, here's who's it? Oh, Courtney Cox. Okay. Ice Queen, Courtney Cox, 59, takes a cold plunge and shows off her toned body in a purple bikini. Good for you, Courtney Cox. Congratulations. She doesn't, I mean, it's not a flat, getting out of an ice plunge is not a flattering look. I would do the before picture, maybe not the after. But yeah, hop in that. I got a cold plunge. It's getting soaked right now in the rain. I like it. I like the cold plunge. All right, so they did get the migrants finally. No thanks to Alvin Bragg. By the way, that's my story today. If you want to check it out later, it's up. It's got a few. It's doing pretty good, I think. Migrants busted by ICE in Phoenix. Maybe the suspects. Maybe. Well, you can't. What do you mean? There's literally a picture of these guys sitting on the ground, but y'all covered their faces, pixelated it for some reason. Well, you can't. You've seen the pictures without the pixels. Are they or aren't they? Are you that nervous you can't identify Hispanics? Are you worried you're going to be like a liberal newspaper, and put the wrong picture of the wrong black person with the wrong name? You ever notice how that only happens in liberal publications? It's very rare. Very rare it happens in conservative ones. But the left is, they don't know who's who. My software must be doing a job because you rarely see advertisers. Good for you, Bob. you got those wizardly ways. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for all the likes, everybody. I'm having a great time today. All right, not hot to trot. I like this story because it's intrigue. These rich people, and they're trying to murder each other because they have no morals or scruples or anything. Not hot to trot. Glamorous murder for hire equestrian. Unrecognizable in prison mugshot. Well, that's what prison does to you. She's been there, a few months at least. And plus she's got makeup. She's on the outside. She got makeup. She got filters. She got skin regimens and plumping and puffing and all this other crap. But then that's her. The mugshot is her. That's what she looks like without all the filters and the this and the that. And the guy who was sleeping with her was that's who was going to kill you. This her ugly on the inside made its way out. So now you can see what she really looks like. Her inside now matches her outside. It's like the portrait of Dorian Gray, but just all at once. It's like, what? Who the hell are you? The Chiefs fans, Hot Fots will enjoy this story. By the way, Hot Fots, thank you again for the donation. He didn't take that to die. Parents of Chief fan found frozen to death in yard say toxicology finding proves there's more to the story. Well, I feel like I'm satisfied with the story right now. I feel like originally I'm like, the cops aren't investigating it at all. You got 3 basically popsicles in the backyard for 2 days. The guy looked out once. He got a dog. It's winter. You're gonna let him out. You gotta let him out in the backyard, at the front. Come on. You're not gonna see these dead guys. He saw him. He's like, crap. What am I gonna do? I don't know what to do. So he just sat there for like a day or two, and then finally they kicked the doors into his house and be like, oh wow, they were out there the whole time. I'm shocked. So basically what happened is the pharmacist guy, who I said at the beginning was the dude responsible. He's the only one alive, so it wasn't that hard to pin. But yeah, he had some drugs. He gave them to him. He passed out upstairs where it was warm. They passed out where it was cold, and they died. That's essentially what happened. They had fentanyl in them, apparently. So yeah, he's up for manslaughter. That's a manslaughter charge, buddy boy. That is a manslaughter charge. All right. Let's check out the dailymail.uk. Oh, they got, of course, it's a Daily Mail, so they're going to have Charles on there. Why wouldn't they? He's smiling with Camilla. Okay, well, he's smiling. Camilla looks like the ice queen in that photo. Adele, appeals court. Adele's court. Appeals court denies Trump's claim he's immune from prosecution. Yeah, okay. So we're kind of repeating the stories at this point. I'm going to go to CNN just to check out CNN and see what they're not covering, because to me that's always more interesting than what is on CNN. It's a fluff, it's propaganda. And I use CNN just as the template for mainstream media in general. I assume we'll have some January 6th, hard-hitting January 6th coverage nobody cares about. I assume. I'm sure they'll be very happy about the appeals thing, the Trump that happened to Trump. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Green Grammy says, okay. I just can't help with that. But today's been a great show. I've been having such a good time. We clipped 900 today. We clipped 900 views, 900 simulcast viewers, which is wonderful. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. It's been fun. It's been fun. So I'm gonna hit CNN and we'll crap on the left a little more, and then I'll probably run out of battery. All right, here we go. So what's going on CNN? Mm-hmm. What does the left want us to think? How does the left want us to funnel our opinion? How does the left want to perpetuate racism? How does the left want to perpetuate poverty? Does the left want to perpetuate anti-cop sentiment? Let's see. I knew, it had to be number one. Number one with a bullet on CNN, ladies and gentlemen. Not surprising. Federal appeals court makes historic ruling. Is it historic? They made a ruling. What's the historic part? Yeah, I don't know. On presidential immunity. All right. Okay, good for you. All right. So that's that. You knew that was going to be number one. How could it not be? All right. Even in Haley's backyard, there's evidence of Trump's GOP makeover. All right. So more hit pieces on Trump. Come on. Wasn't the first big one enough? It wasn't the actual one enough. You had we had Jerry do this fluffy hit piece on him, and we promised him we put it up. Sorry, it's not number one, but the Trump thing. All right. Police believe a 13-year-old bled to death. This is a weird third story, CNN. She is one of a number of girls dying in a society afraid to change. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to clip on that. I don't like it. I don't like your story, CNN. They're ghoulish. And I got to click on it? No, I'm not going to click on that. Screw you. Blinken says the U.S. is reviewing a response from Hamas. We're taking responses from Hamas? The biggest liars, murderers, rapists, killers, child beheaders. We're worried about responses. We don't need a response from them. They do what we tell them to do, Joe. That's how you deal with them. You can negotiate with these people? What the hell's the matter with you? Response? You need a response? Here's my response to your non-response. Boom. More weapons for Israel. That's my response. Anyway, Blinken says the U.S. is reviewing a response from Hamas, ridiculous, on a proposed deal to release the remaining hostages. They're never going to let them out. The only way these hostages are getting out if it's Israeli forces are right at the doors, like of where the hostages are at, where they have them triangulated. They know exactly where they are. They're about to break in. Then and only then will Hamas be like, okay, we're going to release hostages. We're going to release hostages, everybody. Okay. Oh, you guys are out here. We didn't know. Oh, we were just about to release these hostages. That's how I see it going down. The rest is stall. That's all it is. Good times. All right, everyone. I had an amazing time. Thank you all for tuning in. Please, if you haven't, click the like button, click the subscribe button. Thank you to everyone on here today. Jimmy, 890. We clipped over 400, man, today. It was great. I feel like somebody else's show came on right about now because my numbers dropped. Somebody else must have come on, but boy, it was fun. It was fun time. So thank you, Green Grammy. Thank you, Bob in Alaska. Thank you, Jim. By the way, I'll be back tomorrow at 9. I'm here every day at 9 a.m. Pacific time with more laughing at the left. And thank you again for tuning in, everybody. Bob, Jimmy. Wait. Oh yeah. So I didn't read this yet, but real men of genius morons. George Floyd was a total psyops. Yeah, I agree with that. All setups. Well, I don't know if it was all set up, but it was definitely it was utilized as a tool to create mayhem and anarchy, essentially. Thank you, Bob and Green Grammy and everyone else. Doxy, of course. Hot Thoughts, as always. Thank you for the love. Appreciate that, for the donations. Talik, thank you. And everyone else I might have missed. Had a great time as always. Now I can do it like a normal sign off. My awkward is my sign on. Join me. Subscribe. I've got a new video up on Jabba the Gut, aka DA Alvin Bragg. Check that out on my channel. You can get a cameo from me for Valentine's Day or for whatever. Jeff Ahern, I'm under political commentators. Jeremy's Razors is a proud sponsor. And so if you want 15% off your shaving kit, you can put in Ahern 15 for 15% off at jeremy'srazors.com. I think that's all the plugs. Join me at jeffahern.com. If you join at the premium level, you get your own rant. You can you tell me what you want to rant on, and I do it. There you go. And yeah, I think that's just about everything. Patreon and members page as well. All right, I'm done. Thank you again, everyone. Time for my non-awkward sign-off. I missed the non-awkward sign-off. They're suppressing a lot of the story. Hot Fought says. Oh, are they about the Kansas City people? Okay. All right, I'm excited now. All right, I'm back in. I thought the fun with Kansas City was over, but my correspondent on the street there, Hot Fought, says different, and I trust him. So there you go. Yeah, President Trump's mugshot was awesome. Another great, way to generate money. All right, that's it. I'm out. I will see you tomorrow at what time? 9 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you again, everybody, for joining in. I had a blast, and I will see you all tomorrow without an awkward sign off. I miss my awkward sign offs. Sorry, Jeannie. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.